Willow Park fisheries this week and grading and netting fish for Sophie. There's loads of carp here and there's loads of silvers, but what's quite amazing is the first little sweep we've done this morning, we've got some amazing beautiful crucians. Look at these, look, they're unbelievable, and there's a few of them too. Nothing wrong with them. Look at them. Do they get caught, so?
Yeah, everyone loves crucians here.
Because you're growing quite a few small ones on in the other pond, aren't you?
Yeah, we put the smaller ones into the stock pond and been growing them on, and then pop them around the park when they've grown a bit more.
These look a bit bigger this year because we finned quite a few small silvers out of this late last winter. So it's obviously helped because these are looking nice and chunky as well, aren't they?
Yeah, looking good.
Awesome. What are you putting back, so?
The bigger crucians that we've caught from Willow Lake.
Nice. That's only the first little sweep.
Yeah, what's this, sweep 1 of 4?
Yeah. Oh, today? No, we'll probably do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 today on this lake. Yeah. Because of the islands, you're just dividing it all up. There's nets all over the place. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 6, maybe 7. But yeah, it's looking good. Pretty little lake, it's quite shallow. And the only sections we've done before we pulled that across is behind the island, and we caught quite a lot of fish there. And this little tiny little section here had, oh, easy 350 pound weight of fish in, which is nice. So basically, like we did last time, we graded out small silvers, just moving fish around the site really. Plenty of lakes here, and they have all got lots of fish in, which is great, and they're in good condition. So Sophie's been real sensible. The worst thing you could do with these lakes now is buy more. The fishing's good anyway. Alright, you get people come down and it's freezing cold or it's flooded and they struggle in a match, but you ain't got to worry about those sort of people. The pleasure of fishing, it's all about putting the fish first really, and the fish are looking great and they'll keep getting better because of what we're doing. So you can see all these bream. We've graded out all the carp already. The size of some of the bream roach is really impressive. Just graded a few small ones out. Yeah, really nice. Carp are in the pens, ready to move around later. So the sections we've done are that bit there, put the fish in there. Every section we've done at the moment has had lots of fish in. We've pulled that net across there now and we've released fish we've caught in the other section behind the island. There was a bin full of nice crucians behind there. There's no crucians in that bit, just loads of bream, loads of carp. Obviously we're working our way around, doing it in sections, which is the best way with these little lakes. Try and take too much on with the net. We've pulled out 3 pole sections, trees, all sorts of stuff, a load of blackthorn, loads of line. So the nice thing is they're shallow, so you can, there's no excuse really, you can cut the leads all the way around. But again, just this little bit here, so where the island is, just this section here, another, I mean, load of bream, another load of carp, but also another bin full of crucians. I mean, look at them, look. They're really special fish.
Yeah.
Really beautiful, pure crucians. Just lovely, lovely fish. Really are quite special. Obviously it's not just about these, but we wanted to show everyone because there's a lot of them and they're just catching it. Just if you caught those in a day you'd be very happy. And then we've got big carp here, which the boys are just putting in these pens. So we're going to move a couple of 3 of the big carp over into the other carp lake and then bring some smaller carp back into here. There's plenty of carp, load of bream in that one. It's just lots of fish. It's really good. Sort of anglers that moan they can't catch are also the same anglers that lose all their tackle on all the snags. They moan. Feeders and line, 2 pole sections. I don't know where the pole sections are gone, they took them away. Feeder there, lead. Yeah, kind of lead in a tree. just bad angling. There's nothing wrong with the fish stocks at all. Plenty of fish, diverse species and sizes. Sophie's had it up to the back teeth of flooding. Flooding's been a nightmare here. Need a month of dry weather just to get the banks nice and stable, but she's done a lot of work with the swims. Swims are all nice. Did do some planting along here, but the geese have definitely pulled them up. They're not there. There's nothing there at all. That's what we always say about the geese. They're an absolute nightmare. But I've got photographs of when the boys planted all this up, as we always do, nice and thick, all the way along, and they're not there now. And that's a stark lesson to people about keeping the geese off, so your plants can establish. Once they're established, they're fine, but as you can see, she's done all the hard work getting all these nice swims in, all nice and level, easy, safe, right up to the water's edge. Lovely stuff. You just want to plant, and it's worth persisting with because of the benefits, but it is difficult when you've got, not being funny, there's 40 geese over there. They were on here this morning. You can see where they turf all the margins up. They're all in and out. But yeah, even all the obviously Sophie's done a lot of work, a lot of tree work to open it up, and anglers always moan. They say, "Oh, you're cutting a tree down." Yeah, we are. Deal with it, or go somewhere else. You know, there's plenty of places to go fishing, but our job is to promote good fish welfare, good fishery management, and sustainable fishery management. And to do that, so you're not continually buying fish, and you can have crucians like that, and bream and carp and everything coming through. You've got to be realistic. Maximise your marginal plant, maximise your water quality, minimise your leaf drop. I mean, this is called Willow Lakes. There's willows everywhere, they're beautiful, but they all need care and management like everything else. So yeah, we get very frustrated when all you hear from anglers is, "Oh, we need more fit." No. You need to be educated. If you can't catch fish, then choose to fish your venues, you know. Plenty of choice for day ticket anglers and match anglers. Go somewhere else. If you're not liking it, don't put pressure on the fishery owner thinking, "Oh, they'll just buy more fish." Don't do that. You know, if we'll come to where you work, Moni Anglers, and said, "Sweep up faster." What are you doing now, Soph?
Just grading through them. Putting anything straight back in. Taking some out to move over into the match lakes. The bigger ones are going over into the specimen pond. Moving them about a bit.
Nice. They're looking fine. There's lots of them too.
Yeah.
Lots of bream, not just
It's gone straight down the top.
not just carp, but there's plenty of bream. Obviously the crucians are doing amazing, but the bream are doing well as well. A lot of bream. So as you can see, the old swims have been in years, these swims, and most people do this. They just put a couple of paving slabs down, but they always sink down like that. And when you've got elderly people and sort of just anyone really, you want it to be safe. So we advise folk to dig and make them how we did. So the ones I've just shown you over on the other side, on the other lake, which is over the other side of there, they're now nice, flat, stable, railway sleepers, all nice fronts. You can fish safely off the front of them, much safer, much nicer. And long term, she'll go around and do the whole lot like those on here. But obviously that takes time. There's only Sophie and a brother and a small team of people that help out. So there's lots to do, and there's a lot of lakes here. And like I say, over the years, they sort of just need a little bit of work now, just to tidy them up a bit. But she's done lots and lots of tree work and lots of bits. But it's a work in progress, and all these lakes, they just need a bit of time. And people's understanding, you know, yes, we're going to cut trees down, you're going to do work, but it all needs doing. It's just simple, really. Just encouraging more and more of this plant growth to stabilise the margin and give you all the benefits associated with that. It's all looking quite good, it's all coming up. And you can start taking, I'd cut those off the front of those and use them along the banks. Just keep going, really. So it's all method to the madness. Like I say, these little intimate sweeps, you just got to take your time. We're lucky we've got so much net, so you can just blank areas off, and you couldn't really do this with 1 or 2 nets. You catch some fish, but we're trying to do it as thoroughly as we can, and even then you don't catch all the fish. But to do it as thoroughly as you can, just keep grading fish and keep on top of it, really. It already works. the work we did last year is already paying dividends, because the quality of the silvers has definitely improved since last year. Loads of carp in here, but even the carp look more plump now, just look healthier. You know, it's not getting every fish to pack on loads and loads of weight in these lakes, it's just keeping them healthy in the winter, so that in the summertime, when there is low oxygen, they've got a much better chance of survival and having less problem. And you know, that's basically geese over there smashing all the plants up. Buggers. So it's all good. Same again, loads of bream. Loads of bream. And these are only tiny little sweeps we're doing. So each sweep has, you know, we haven't even pulled in 2 bigger bits of water yet. All these fish, we've easily caught 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've caught £1,000 weight of fish, maybe £1,200 total, just from doing the bits. Yeah, there was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we have. Yeah, soon adds up. That's a lot of fish for this pond anyway, you know. So when anglers keep saying there's not enough, that is, you can't afford to listen to them. You just can't, because we see it all the time on little lakes like this and on big ones. And when anglers put pressure on fishery owners, which happens everywhere, oh, I could do with more. It's just bad. It's just, you. Sorry, but you know, occasionally we go somewhere and there's not many fish, but very seldom. Very seldom. Normally there's loads of fish, and that's the reason. One of the reasons why it's not fishing as well as you think it should. So it's always worth bearing that in mind, because these are the things we see every day. And yeah, decisions you just need to be wary of when, you know, everyone says we're trying to do best for the anglers. We should be trying to do what's best for the fish, because in return, that is what will pay you back. Same story really. Grading fish out of this section. Lots of big roach too. Really nice roach and bream. Lots of them. Every sweep we've had lots of bream and roach. Grade the carp out, and then this fella here is going to go in the carp lakes. Nice chunky fish. Good. Grading a few of the bigger fish to put in the carp lake. Some pretty fish in there, some nice little zip linears. Old school traditional builder swim. These have been in years, and they've done them proud for God knows how many years, 20 years or something, but they always end up going like that, sloping at the front, then they become slippery and dangerous. Plus they're all held up with metal and stuff, and these are the new ones which Soph's put in, which is exactly how we do ours. Just easy. Just easy. Flat and level, and they're built underneath with sleepers, and the returns are the most important bit. You get good returns in the last few years. There's a few of the bits of tackle we pulled out of this corner. So this lake's a bit awkward because right down the centre of it there's a long central kind of, well, it's not quite in the centre, like a sunken island, which makes it awkward. Otherwise obviously you'd net the whole thing in one go. So it's quite tricky to navigate around. So what I did, we put the 2 nets in the boat, and I got the boys to stand in the middle of it, shoot it down either side of it. So it's a bit of an awkward one to net effectively, but it's worth always doing as much as you can to find these features out, because it's better off doing it like this than it is trying to net the whole thing over a big humpy mound in the middle where you just lose the fish. So we'll see what we catch. What's in here, Soph?
Eating a chocolate bar.
Eating a chocolate bar.
Lots of carp.
Lots of carp.
Carp.
Hopefully we'll catch some. Hopefully we'll get a few more silvers for the other lakes as well.
There's definitely some silvers in here, some smaller carp that have been caught by the anglers that need to be removed.
Yeah, hopefully we will. So Sophie's very typical in the fact that on these lakes, you know, where you're having a few matches and bits and pieces, she's getting a few anglers saying things like, oh, you need to restock every year with new fish because the old ones won't get caught on bait, and you shouldn't feed the fish. And every year you should top up your stock with F1s and things like that to make the fishing easier. Well, we go to places that the fishery owners initially, when they're trying to please everyone, they do that, but then after a few years' time, they have a monumental fish kill due to water quality or just having too many fish, and they learn the hard way. But to get there, they've spent thousands of pounds on fish that aren't in the lakes anymore, and they all end up doing what we suggest eventually. got a few clubs that are doing things now which we told them to do 10 years ago. So although the customer is always right, unfortunately when it comes to biology and nature, education's kind of more important really than someone just telling you to spend thousands of pounds on fish you don't need. We see it time and time again with fisheries, but we have to be at the front line of what's going on. So we're netting these lakes daily in the winter and we find out exactly what's going on. So when you're stocking loads of fish and they're just dying and they're not there, that's why. Stocking for the short term is not good fishery management, but all the anglers care about is their match weights. So you've got to bear that in mind when you're doing things like this. It's for the future. And building, you know, decent stocks of fish. We've caught beautiful crucians here, loads of bream, loads of carp. There's lots and lots and lots of fish. If anglers struggle on ponds like this, they honestly need fishing lessons. I'm not joking. They need fishing lessons. These ponds are shallow. You know, they're fairly easy to fish in. On every day of the week, it will be cold. You know, at the moment the weather's cold. But if you can't catch fish, you've got to remember, like Sophie came out with us last week on a big lake. And we netted a huge volume of the lake and caught loads of fish, and then there's not a lot of fish dotted around. Anglers won't even accept that. Most of last week and the week before, we're netting lakes all over the country, and the fish are in pockets because it's cold. In Newport, we did one sweep and caught no fish, and some of the anglers, you think, oh, they're just saying, you know, there's not enough in this section. But then we do the other section full of fish. That's just nature. That's what happens, and we have to give advice based on that. You can't just continually restock. It's just not good practice.
So there's been a carp coming out there. They don't make the grade. They find fish, but they're going in the other lakes. We don't need them in here. This is the specimen carp lake, and then more silvers coming out. When we did it last year, there's a video online. Most of the bream were, well, these have all grown. They've all doubled in size. So we moved an awful lot of bream out last year, but they were sort of that long. So they've filled out into the space. But these are going to be restocked into the other lakes now for the matches. They're going to be moved around as well. So it's good weight to come out, and that gives more weight to the big carp to grow on in here. Sensible, simple fishery management. So we are restocking. So it's restocking all those fish into the other lakes. And by the end of the 2 days, the match lakes will have at least £200-300 easy more additional fishing. If anyone says things like, oh, they're not new fish, well, they are. Absolute nonsense. And the fishing will keep getting better. That's the reality of the situation in here. Nice. This is Ash Lake. This is one of Sophie's lakes she has matches on. It's shallow. We section this up using the fine mesh. Last time we took a lot of tiny silvers out of here, which has helped. I've noticed an improvement in the condition of the fish, which is what it's all about. And we basically put a net across the middle there as a blocker, and then we use 200 metres of fine mesh and just do it in sections. So there's 4 sweeps on here. Again, you know, if you've only got a couple of nets, you'd be forced to drag a load of net around, and you're losing fish when you do that, no doubt. But we've got the luxury of having so much gear, we can just keep sectioning it off and do big sweeps and net the whole lake. So we're doing this first, and we'll just, every sweep we land, we then grade out the small fish, which go into another pool over there, which has got more space, and then big carp into the big carp lake. And then Sophie's got pens that we caught fish yesterday, just taking some of the bream, which have bred really well over the back there, and then move them into here. So it's just stock rotation really, and it works really, really well. So this is, all the lakes basically benefit from this because they all end up with new fish. Some anglers seem to think that fish move between the lakes aren't new fish. That's absolute nonsense. It's just putting them in a different environment, more suitable environment. She suffered massively. We're in Lincolnshire, it's very flat here, and she suffered massively over the winter with flooding, and done their best to put it all right and build new tracks and pathways and stuff, but just up against it really. There's nowhere for the water to go, and the ditch the other side on away from Sophie's perimeter hasn't been maintained, so it's tricky, you know. But like I say, hopefully now things will warm up, start to look a bit better, plants will start to grow, and yeah, fishing will just keep getting better as it warms up. So we're just going to load up and crack on. So we've shot 2 nets, one behind the island, well 3 nets, one here. These lakes are nice and shallow, so you can cut the leads all the way around. Fish are quite active actually. I'm going to put a blocker across there. Splashed out all around the aerator. So there's net everywhere. So then basically cuts it up nicely into 2 sections. Then we do obviously this bit first, land it where the boat is pretty much, then the other section over the other side, then we move on, do these 2 bits here. Obviously if it weren't for the islands you just do the whole thing in one sweep, but this is one of the main lakes and there are a lot of matches on here. We've redone a lot of the pegs and stuff, but like I say, the weather's been against them really when they're trying to get stuff done. It just keeps flooding, but like I say, it'll all be alright. A couple of months, dry weather, and everyone can enjoy it again. I think it's been fishing okay over the winter considering the flooding and stuff like that. Sophie's always keen to get her kit on and help out. What's the best thing about running a fishery?
Don't think there is any.
No.
We're just restocking some more silvers and carp into the match lakes at Willow Lakes.
Nice.
Quite friendly. Got some nice 3-4 pound carp going back in here.
Excellent. Different day today. Yesterday was bright sun. It was cold. It was a frost yesterday, but today's actually, funny enough, now it's a bit milder, but a bit more damp. We're just doing the second sweep. I'd say shallow lakes are lovely and very easy to net. Silt's quite bad, but Sophie's aware that now you sort of learn as you get in the water around the site that years and years and years of just being left really in the trees, the amount of rotten leaf just causes massive siltation. This one was due to be emptied by now and desilted. So last year Sophie drained it right down. We took all the fish out and moved them around other ponds. It's a nice thing here, you've got plenty of ponds. So it was completely empty and completely dry, and then we're going to regrade all the banks, regrade all the islands, take all the silt out, do some more tree work. It's shielded by that bank, so it's suffered a bit of water quality in the past. A lot of people just restock it, you know, but it's just false economy really. So it was all geared up ready to do that, and obviously we got hit with all the flooding, and yeah, filled up again in a couple of days. And there's just nowhere for the water to go, so it's just put them back really here. So you feel for them a bit, you know. The site's got huge potential. I mean, it's good now. The fish speak for themselves. Loads of fish, but bottom line, you can see how clear the water is. It's because there's no fish in there. To be fair, there might be a few perch coming through pipes and bits and pieces. It always happens, but yeah, this was geared up to be worked on. This is our nemesis over here. Geese. Don't get me wrong, I'm a great lover of all wildlife. But when you're trying your hardest to repair and improve fisheries and margins, see, I've done all these tracks just to let anglers have a little bit of an easier ride, because it just gets wet here. But the geese, which you hear all the time, are an absolute menace. This is nothing, this is only a handful really. But yeah, they're just messy. They pull up your plants when you're trying to plant them. They crap everywhere on all the swims. But like I say, these lakes full of fish, all of them. They've got loads of fish, apart from that one. They've all got loads of fish. Nice pathway put in there. But it is wet. Obviously the caravan, this is a lake for predominantly for caravan owners. You can just fish this one. There's loads of fish in there, all nice mix in there. And then this one's probably the siltiest one. This is the trouble with these little sort of snake type intricate lakes. People used to dig them so they can get the maximum amount of anglers around the minimum amount of water, which I've always had a problem with, because then they overstock them, and because they get limited wind on them because of all the obstructions, it doesn't take long for them to have a problem. And then it's in places this is only a foot of water. It's mad. You look at it and think, oh, that's fine. But yeah, quite silty. But long term the banks will be repaired. A lot more marginal planting. So she's got a good plan together in the coming years. Like I say, she's only young, but she's got a good good fishery management head on her shoulders. It's just a lot of work for a small team, and we can just come and help as much as we can and try and put a mind at ease. It's very frustrating when you get anglers turn around to them and say you need more fish. It's just the worst thing you can say to a fishery owner. It really is. I always say to people like that, where's your fishery then? Where's your one? Can we come and have a look at that? Keyboard warriors. It's bad for the industry, and it's just bad. It's like you don't go to places and say I didn't catch, therefore you need more fish. That's pathetic when you think about it. And most of it's match fishing, match anglers. They've got it in their head that, oh, if I don't catch loads, it's because there's not enough fish. Well, these lakes are full of fish, honestly. They really are. They're geared up. Each lake's geared up for different type of fishing. This is a match lake on Ash, what we're doing now, and it's full of fish. But on any given day, if the water quality's not right, some of it's out of Soph's control as well, with the summers we're having and the flooding, etc., you're not going to catch fish. Simple. Doesn't matter if you've got £1,000 or £200 of fish. You need to learn and stop having a go at fishery owners, because it's just pathetic, really. Pathetic. What do you think? How's it going?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Catching a few?
Yeah, lots.
Yeah, good.
Lots more than anglers see.
Well, always, yeah. Always. Just looking at the paths around the back, they look good.
Yeah, it's made a massive difference.
Yeah. It's just a nightmare trying to keep everything dry. You do a load of work and then the floods come and...
It's been non-stop.
Of course it has, yeah. It's things people don't see.
I wouldn't believe that we drained that, would you?
No, I was just saying about
That's
that.
refilled up about 3 times.
Yeah, it's mad. It is mad.
Crazy.
It's just nowhere for the water to go.
No.
So that is 3. It's a good little path, this. That is 3 sections done. This little section was tiny. And it's a bit like when we were in Newark the other day. If you look at the video from Newark on YouTube, we do the first section of the lake and caught no fish. I caught boulders bigger than these, but no fish. Oh, literally £5 of fish. And you can see the anglers, not the club, but some of the anglers are going, oh, might need some new fish. Straight away they're thinking that. But it's winter. So then we did another section, caught £400 odd, and another section and caught £3,000 of these ridiculous amounts of fish. And anglers, a lot of anglers, good anglers understand that, especially in the winter, that the fish will be localised. They'll go where they want to go. Tiny little discrepancies in water quality, tiny differences in oxygen, anything like that, or food availability, anything. Which is why when we supplementary feed lakes, we feed all around the lake to encourage more movement, more foraging. Really works. It just does. We took a lot of tiny fish out last year and moved them over there, real tinies. And then, so we haven't adjusted too much. We've moved bream and carp back into here from the other lakes. It's just, like I say, it's just healthy to do that. And like I say, it looks quite barren at the moment, but Sophie's doing her best to re-establish marginal plants. But it's mainly just the weather. It just needs to dry out. The willows look great in the summer here. I know there is a lot of iris and a lot of plants that do come up, but it's just been horrendous. And everyone's up against it these days, the weather. But yeah, it's always worth bearing in mind before you start whinging, especially on days like this, the fish won't be where you want them to be necessarily. You know, good angler. It's different in a match because you're stuck in a peg. And I think that's half the problem when you're stuck in a peg. You're going to be moody if you're not catching as someone else is. And half the time it's just because they're on the fish and you're not, you know. And especially lakes like this, which are fairly uniform and silty and shallow. Hi. All right. Yeah. But instead of that, you know, if some people are catching and others aren't, they'll go, oh, you need more fish in my section. If you've ever heard people say that, if you understand how ludicrous it is, and I mean pathetic, you need more fishing because there's none over this side. I told the story millions of times, like back in the day, not so much now, but years ago when I was very young, I was even a teenager, delivering fish all over the country, and the amount of club waters you'd go to, and you turn up with a truck and you get a bit of the fish out and they go, can we put some in each peg? And I'd go, yeah, you can. I've already loaded them and graded them and caught them with the team and driven here, so we can put them all in here. So what I used to do is just put a bin in straight away right next to the truck and then talk for a couple of minutes, and then you'd see the fish that you've just stopped topping. And the reason they do that is because they're transferring the water from the tank. You know what I mean? They're basically refilling themselves with lake water and transferring the water over, and then they breach quite a lot and take on more water and clean themselves out. The water in the tank super saturated. Anyway, boring. But that's what they do. They start topping. So I wait until they start topping. I go, there, look, there's the fish, and they go, oh, they might not be the ones we just put in. I was like, okay, fine. So then you'll say, well, to be fair, I don't want to. And my back was bad years ago, and I say, well, you guys can walk them down there if you want. We'll do our best, you know what I mean? But when it's something that ridiculous, you're trying to help them. Oh, they'll say, well, last time we did it, we put a few in each peg and it fished well. It's like, okay, yeah, it might have done for a while, but come on. They swim, that's what they want to do. And if your fishery's well managed and you're doing everything right, they'll just move around a lot. But that used to happen, and you're dealing with that. Can we put some in each peg? It's like, yes, sir. Shall I cut all the fins off so they stay in each peg? Does your head in. Sophie's been in helping. She's starting to realise how much the undercuts affect everything. In some places she can almost fit a whole body underneath, where some of these trees went in and it's just ripped the bank apart. You can get 4 or 5 foot under the bank, which is quite amazing. We've already graded quite a lot of carp back in. There's a lot in this section. Like I say, it's only 2-3 foot deep lake, but plenty of fish. Loads of bream and carp. Just starting to grade them back. Nice. Okay, coming back. It's always good when you get a proactive fishery owner like Sophie. Like I say, she's only young, but she's learning so much more than a lot of people do just by getting in the water. Like today, she's been in the water helping us pull the nets, but mainly she can start to see that when the lakes are full like this, you know, when you actually physically get in and you can work your legs underneath the banks, because the margins are really undercut around a lot of these lakes, and it's easy for us to say that, but when you can get in and actually look at and feel with your own legs, you feel the fish getting under the banks to the extent where anglers wouldn't appreciate, especially in the winter. You think, oh, they'll just move out the way. Well, they don't. They don't want to move out the way. They might swim out the way for a second and then they're back in instantly. So it's good. I say it's all learning really, which we're doing every day as well as everyone else. But the more you see, the more you learn, the more you sort of understand. It's like, oh, okay, hang on a minute. This is why this is happening. So now we're just doing this one here. I'm going to drag a net through here and then go and do a stock pond. Whilst undoubtedly the stars of the show on this particular venue, I think personally, are the crucians, because there's quite a few of them and they're big. There's a shed load of bream. Plenty of bream in all the lakes, and plenty of carp in all the lakes. But we'll just run a net quickly through this one. Just show you the bream in here. There's a lot of bream. A lot of bream. Solid bream. I've got a bit there. That's great. Good, isn't it? What are you going to do with these now? Move a few?
Yeah.
Move a few of the smaller ones?
Yeah.
Plenty there. I'll say this corner under here is quite sticky and stuff, but there's plenty of fish there. There's an impressive lot of bream. Growing and breeding well. Got a few crucian boxes as well. Happy days. The whole fishery has got plenty of crucian tucked in, which we love. There's lots and lots of those. Beautiful fish. There's loads of bream. The bream are doing really well. They're producing really. And every year there's a lot of fish. It's all good. Nice. Well done, everyone. What are you doing here, Soph?
We've removed some of the larger bream and roach from Sycamore and we're moving them over to the match lakes to create some space.
Lovely. This is a very small percentage of the bream that's in there, by the way. There's a shed load.
Hundreds.
So these are quite a nice addition. So we've put quite a lot of fish in here today, haven't we? Out of all the other
we've moved
lakes.
quite a lot over.
Carp and crucians and bream, all sorts going in. Which is all good. Excellent. So we're pretty much finished. We're just running a net around the little stock pond. Just so to have a look. This pond was horrendously full of lilies. When I first did it, it was just lilies, lily roots all over, and they've taken an awful lot of them out. Some nice iris growing up in the corner there. They can be harvested and moved around. It's tricky planting when you've got horrendous amounts of old roots. But yeah, just running a net through here, and then we're done. We moved a nice lot of fish around, taking the pressure out of Dad's and Lad's Lake, which had an awful lot of bream in it of various different sizes. So just taking 100, 200 pound weight of those out and moving them to one of the other lakes. Just topping up the match lakes with small carp and bream. And yeah, just moving fish around. The fish look good. They definitely benefited from the work we did last year. We've seen improvements in a bit of growth. They could do a bit of food. It's just a lot of fish. And obviously during the winter there's not a lot of bait going and not a lot of feed going, which isn't a problem, but these are shallow lakes, so it doesn't take them very long to warm up. And the fish are quite active at the moment. We had a frost, Monday night was a frost, but they're really active, the fish. But like I say, every lake's different. And these are just very silty, very old, shallow lakes. But there's lots of fish, and you know, it's always a pleasure to come and help out where we can. So we'll just get this done and we'll be on our way. I'm very wet today, my waders leak. Looks like I've got a bit excited downstairs, but I'm going to show you it's just water. This is Sophie's pride and joy, her little stock pond, where she's growing on some nice little fish. And there's lots of nice crucians in here. Yeah, really nice.
They're my babies, there's a linear one there.
Yeah.
Who needs kids when you've got fish?
Exactly, yeah. Well, that's kind of my mantra as well. Pick that little zip up. Look at that. That's a cracking little pond of fish, that. Beautiful. You can pick some little fish to go in here to grow on, and the crucians are doing brilliantly.
They're the ones we moved out of the other stock pond.
Doing well.
Yes, great.
Do you want to eat out?
Yeah. It doesn't belong in there.
Probably alright.
They look really good.
I wish I could put them in the house.
Get a little tank on the go.
Yeah.
Put it up a bit, yeah. Show them off a bit. A lot of crucians in there.
There isn't
They
there?
look amazing. Well done.
Nice.
Lovely.